So the government have confirmed for the first time that another referendum in Scotland could happen and set out what it would take for that to go ahead. Now, just to give the background on this, we recently saw, of course, English taxpayers subsidising Scotland, Scottish public spending deficit doubling to £36 billion. Of course, the SNP and the Greens forming an alliance aiming to hold another referendum by 2023. Sturgeon saying they are determined that there will be an independence referendum in this parliament. She said that the agreement with the Green Party reiterates that. Now, we did see not long ago comments from Michael Gove saying that if there was a public desire for another referendum, one would occur. And then number 10 wouldn't stand in the way if that was the settled will of Scottish voters. Interestingly enough, at the time, the Telegraph, who of course are very plugged into a lot of conservative thinking, reported that it was understood that Boris Johnson's view is in line with Michael Gove's stance, that Westminster should not stand in the way of a referendum if it is the settled view of Scots. Now, Boris Johnson's Scotland Secretary Alistair Jack has spoken to Politico, and he has said that a second referendum in Scotland could take place if polling consistently shows 60% of Scots want another referendum. Quoted as saying, if you consistently saw 60% of the population wanting a referendum, not wanting independence but wanting a referendum, and that was sustained over a reasonably long period, then I would acknowledge that there was a desire for a referendum. Anyone can see that. But he goes on to say, that's not where we are, and it's not how I perceive things to be. I think I'm broadly where the public are, which is that now is not the time to be having a referendum. We've had one, we've made our decision, let's get on and rebuild the economy and rebuild people's lives. Now, as to how close the likes of the SNP and the Greens are to that 60% of Scots supporting another referendum, the latest polling I could find on this was from Redfield and Wilton from earlier this month. And they find that 47% of respondents overall would oppose a referendum on Scottish independence being held in the next year, with 33% opposing strongly. Far fewer than the 60% required by the government, only 40% would support such a referendum being held in the next year, just 29% expressing strong support for a referendum in the next year. So clearly a gap there. But interesting that the government are now setting a defined criteria. Let me know what you make of that, guys. As ever, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell so you don't miss my next video. And of course, as ever, thank you so much for watching.